So we tried to slay in the Copa del Rey, but to our dismay, the next round got away. But no shame in losing to Real Sociedad, no. We should feel orgulloso, because as 1-0 losses go, that was glorioso. So let's go. Get fired up like Toto, blessing Malaga raining down on Spanish Africa, as we go to one of the enclaves, to Ceuta, across the waves, to see Roberto goals and Alfonso saves. So all aboard the boat to the North African coast, we'll hopefully with a Pacharan toast. So, land ahoy, I'll cry from atop the mast. But first, let's record this week's Geary Cast. Good day, everyone. I am Matt Harrison, and you are listening to the Malaga fan podcast, the Geary Cast, on Sport Direct Radio and as part of the Sports Social Podcast Network. As it is the first podcast of 2024, I'd like to wish everyone that's listening a happy new year, and we hope that your 2024 is prosperous and Malaga can make it prosperous with a promotion. First of all, I'll start by saying Happy New Year to my fellow Geary Cast hosts as well. So I'll go to you first, Luke. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, mate. Happy New Year, everybody. I hope you've had a good start to it. That has just made the start of my new year. The rap gets better week by week, Matt. Fantastic.
Thank you. Yes, and maybe I saw you had a fun start with football at Glentoran, and from Glentoran to a torrid time with planes coming back. So
yeah, I dare say the Glentoran football game, a little bit of a disaster. The Glentoran football ground, insane. As you know yourself, it's a real treat for any ground hopper going to that ground. It's a beautiful ground. And then to be massively let down by a certain Irish airline, and probably not the Irish airline what you're all going to think of. But
you can make publicity.
Quite a disaster that day, unfortunately.
Tell the name of the aircraft of the company.
No,
I can't do that, Chris.
Oh, no,
yes, you should.
No, we can't. I've said Happy New Year to Chris already. I've seen him in the flesh. I'll come to him last. Happy New Year, Alex Ashmore. You have decided to join us to talk about third division Spanish football. You're not in Saudi Arabia with Real Madrid. So thank you for that.
That's all right. No worries. Yeah, Happy New Year, everyone. You said you think that was one of your, you were apprehensive as to whether that rap was going to be good quality. I think that was the best one yet, actually.
No. You just like cheesy 80s music, and I did a shout out to Toto.
Toto won it for me. Toto won it for me, that bit.
But yeah, no, I'm doing well. I'm buzzing off Yeovil getting 13 points clear at the top of the Panorama National League South. So what more could you want? But maybe a Malaga win on the weekend.
Yes, absolutely. And Chris, I have seen you already this year, but once again, so our listeners know that we communicate Happy New Year.
Okay. I have one genuine question.
Okay.
Till when is it okay? Yeah. Till when is it okay to wish people Happy New Year? Because it's the 10th
when you first see
January. I mean, I can't be asked, to be honest, to wish people a Happy New Year after the 2nd.
Okay. I wish I hadn't.
It's not that I'm not wishing you all a Happy New Year. But I mean...
Okay, I'd agree with you, but I'm in that sort of, I've gone back to work 2 days ago after my Christmas holiday. You know, teachers getting all those holidays. So I'm still in the, I hope you had a good New Year mode.
Okay. Happy New Year.
There you go.
Yay.
There you go. And tell you what, you seem a bit disappointed with the start of New Year, the way you're sounding there. So let's go to a semi-disappointing start of to the new year for Malaga Club de Football. I got back to the Costa del Sol 5 minutes before midnight on New Year's Eve. Got back to Marbella on the 1st of January, and then the next day I was straight off to Intercity, which isn't a place. The place was Orihuela, where I saw Malaga draw 2-2 with a last gasp equaliser against Intercity. We won't review the game. I'll just go around quickly. Just so we've covered it. Luke, do you want to summarize the game in a sentence or so for me?
Yeah, just quickly. It turned out to be a good point because we were really bad that night. I don't think we played like a team throughout the game at all. But I suppose this is a game what over the years we would have lost. So to come away with a point, it's not the end of the world. It keeps us going and keeps us heads high, I guess.
Yeah, Chris, I think that's pretty much how we all feel. Yeah, there was not too many positives to take from it, but I'm sure we'll talk about one when we get to the Biznaga section in a moment.
It's the match where we became Real Murcia, didn't we?
Yeah, true. That's a good analysis, actually. Yeah,
And that's about it. Another 90 minutes of waste of my life, of my time. It's all gone with the wind.
Yeah. Shout out to the stadium at Orihuela, which was
Was it nice?
Well, it was just like a non-league stadium. It was amazing in regards of just wandering the terrace.
In terms of ground hopping, Matt, like you'll know this question. In terms of a rating up to 10, what would you give that kind of ground? Because I love a little shitty ground as well.
Yeah, me too. But then that's it, really, isn't it? I think it's really difficult to give ratings like this because how do you compare that to, I don't know, I went to San Mamés a couple of months ago, which would be
but still, for the non-league grounds you went to,
I'd say like in regards of sort of just open terraces and stuff, maybe like an 8. It was like, we did try to move around to the other side of the ground, like from where we switched to the side Malaga were attacking successfully until Malaga scored, and then people were jumping on the wall at Roberto, so the police turned up and shuffled us all around. It was just really open terrace, trees growing out of the stands. When we got off the bus, one of the guys said, "We are playing here. This isn't a school ground." It was fun in that way, and of course we took a few fans.
Were there more Malaga fans or were there more Intercity fans?
It was hard to tell, but I would guess. If I had to guess, I'd say more Malaga fans because obviously it's not Intercity's usual home. So for those that don't know, Intercity play in Alicante, but they weren't allowed to use the pitch because it was so bad. I think if anything, there was probably more locals who just turned up to see a game. I think it summed it up really was the whole ground was surrounded by blocks of flats. And I pointed out to one of the Welsh guys I befriended there. But if you want to find out about that story, listen to the Vamos episode. And there was no one in the windows watching the game. And I thought, this is embarrassing.
It wouldn't be a match for me because I would probably be looking at the blocks around the whole match.
Yeah, it was cool. It was cool.
I once said it on the podcast already. When there are cameras in small grounds which have a view at the outside of the stadium, I'm always looking on what's happening outside of the stadium.
That's going back to my favorite team, Atletico Baleares. When Chris, you were watching the traffic, if you remember.
Yeah, I was watching the traffic.
Well, this is what I'm saying. You'd been disappointed because basically just all the lights were out in the flats, apart from a couple of people who were like, "Oh, what's going on down here?" Oh, that must be Malaga's reserve team playing because Malaga surely can't be playing at this level, but we were. Alex, anything to add on the game, and then we'll do a quick Chumbo and Biznaga.
Nothing too. I think I said off air. I saw Intercity before the break playing against Castilla, and I was far from impressed. So I thought I was hopeful of 3 points. Facing up against one of our old players, Cristo Romero. That was
he played a fantastic match, by the way.
He was really, really fast.
He was really good.
Somebody kicked him in first half. Someone gave him a right belt, but I can't remember who.
I remember. I don't remember him being slow or anything, but there was one bit when he shot up the pitch, and I was like, "What the hell? Why did we let him go?" I always liked him anyway. So let's quickly. We don't have to be perhaps. Let's not be analytical on this bit because I think we're going to talk more about the Biznaga because I think I know where everyone's picking. I'll say my Chumbo. It was being between the two centre backs, probably Ainar and Murillo. They both were poor, like Chris said. There was lots of gaps in the defense. I'd probably say Ainar if I had to pick one. And I think I said in the Vamos episode, I thought La Rubia was really wasteful too, but I'll go.
I was going to say Murillo.
Yeah, I think I agree with Chris.
Because his passing was also a bit off.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think you could have picked
him off at half time, got booked.
True. Okay.
Not a very good day for him.
Fair point.
But it could be either of the two, so.
Yeah, I agree with that, Matt, as well.
Alex, anyone different?
No, I was going to go with Murillo as well.
Okay. Cool.
Really? Are we on the same page, Alex?
This is going too well.
Well, Well, I'd be really
This
surprised.
was the Gearycast. We can stop now. Thank you for watching our latest episode. We will miss you. Goodbye. Alex and me are on the same page.
Well,
I
Chris,
can
you-
die now. In
You make
peace.
it sound like we don't agree all the time.
I'm joking.
I'd be very surprised if you are on the same page for Biznaga too, because I'll just say who I think Biznaga is, and you guys can just say if you've got anyone else. It's got to be Alfonso Herrero with all those magnificent saves. Does anybody have another shout?
I think you lot that travelled all the way there.
That's
No,
No, we can't do that every week.
no.
Nick did
But
it last
it's
time.
got to
as
be
well.
Don Herrero. It's got to be.
Yeah, it's got to be.
Really
him.
has.
Yeah, it's gonna be Herrero.
Leave
It says a lot about the match when your goalkeeper is called the best player of the match.
Yeah. In truth, I think I remember putting on my Twitter at the time. We should have been 3-0 down after 25 minutes.
Yeah.
Easily.
That's how bad we were.
Well, it was funny on the bus back. Like, obviously, by the time I got on the bus, they had the highlights on, and I think I tweeted, "What an unbelievable save at 0-0." And when I watched the highlights, he'd made 3 at 0-0. I was like, "Oh, I meant the third one, the one where he got down like really quickly." Yeah.
So, Matt, my question is always: when you travel, do those traveling with the bus with a lot of Spanish people? Do you have a person you always sit next to?
No,
Or-
some random sat next to me. I just put my headphones in, and if you remember, I hadn't really slept for 2 days because of traveling and stuff. So I was quite happy just to, people do speak to you a bit and stuff. Yeah. But no, I just sort of, I just want the bus journey to go fast. So I just sort of put my head down a bit.
And did you sleep on the way back?
Sort of half slept.
What time did you arrive back in Malaga?
4:30, and then I got a 6 o'clock bus back to Marbella.
What time did you go to sleep, Matt, the day before, on the day of the travel across to Intercity? Because we're at New Year's Eve, did you say?
No. New Year's Day.
New Year's Day, sorry.
What did you take to stay awake for almost 48 hours?
The drug of Malaga Club de Football.
Lovely. The good stuff.
I don't do any, just in case people think that's a euphemism. just because I sort of did like a wink then, which was not. That was meant to be a cheesy joke. Anyway, there's a couple of other things I just want to fire through here. They've changed a couple 3 of our fixtures. Weirdly, I think it's to do with Unicaja. You can tell me in a second if that's right. But the game against Intercity at home on the 17th of March has been moved to the next day. The same day, but from 6 o'clock to midday. Hate midday kickoffs. Malaga Murcia has also been moved from 6 o'clock on a Sunday to midday on the 21st of April. And Malaga v Merida, all of these are at home, I should have said, on the 4th of May has been moved from 8 o'clock on a Sunday to 8 o'clock on a Saturday to 7 o'clock on a Sunday. That's hard to read. Am I right in saying there's something to do with Unicaja?
I don't know. The only thing I hear is beer breakfast.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Cereals with beer.
Excellent. So just in case, I'm sure most of you probably seen the news, but if you're listening and you're booking tickets or setting plans for games in March, April and May, just double check. That's what I'm
We
saying.
go out for a beautiful Sunday morning breakfast, romantic breakfast on a Sunday morning, Matt.
Exactly.
Cocktail Sunday.
Cocktail Sunday.
I was in fake Bar Hermanos Madrid for beers before the Melilla game on a midday kickoff, so I can do that again. Sad news, really, 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 really sad news. Kevin Medina is out for 3 games injured. He might be, that's at the moment, we believe 3 games, could be longer. We sort of said we'd perhaps talk about that a little bit later, but it is, of course, a headline, a devastating headline. But we'll go back to that later. I don't know. Do we want to talk about transfer news? I feel like we've done this to death. We need a striker. We need this. Is there anything?
I have not.
I think the last 2 matches show us that we need more than just one striker. We need a few players, and I think with that we have covered it all. I think.
Yeah.
There are no big rumors popping up, right?
Yeah.
I've seen Lauren say He's waiting. There's nothing yet. He's
Where's he
probably
waiting?
looking for a discard at Segunda,
Mhm.
which makes
he
total
waiting?
sense to me.
Waiting for February.
Yeah, probably. I
If
think it
only-
will be too late, to be honest. But I also think that we need players that make us better and not just sign for the signing. So I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
We just need to survive until new signings are coming in.
If only we had a striker that was a record goal scorer at this level. But didn't score.
Yeah, where Ruben Castro?
Yeah, where is
is
that
he?
guy?
He's probably back.
I
in
don't know
Gran
about
Canaria.
you, but does it maybe show that there's a bit of structure to this transfer window, if you know what I mean? Like normally we link to everything and it seems like we'll take anything. Maybe
Yeah.
Lauren, like he says, they are actually waiting for that player what is going to make us better.
Maybe he's going for Santiago Jimenez, but he's just finding a way to get Santiago Jimenez.
He won't make it in Primera.
I've seen him down here, I believe, Chris. He is down on the Costa del Sol. That could be a way to start a rumor.
He is sexy, but he's also linked with Tottenham.
Is there any particular bar that we can go to set the rumor off?
So if he goes to Tottenham, I would be so sad.
I'll buy you a shirt, Chris. You'll be all right.
Just for those that don't
That's
know,
the deal.
I don't know if everyone will know who he is. Santiago Jimenez is the Mexican.
Everybody knows who Santiago Jimenez is.
I don't know. They might not. They might be.
Yeah.
They talking about.
He's like the biggest footballer of this moment.
You know,
I only
as
know-
a teacher, you've always got to check for understanding or make things clear. So I'm just making things clear.
I only know-
Basically, he's not linked with Malaga. He's not signing for Malaga.
Okay.
No, but we were talking about a striker. I mean, you guys are all like a bit old. Alex, do you know who Santiago Jimenez is?
I only know him because of you.
No. You're getting
Yeah.
old, Alex.
To be honest with you, I probably only know
No.
because of you. When I think about it. I don't know. I don't really follow the Dutch league, and I might have come across his name otherwise, but
Chris's
No.
face changing.
no, I'm just being honest. I'm not trying to be offensive. I've got a lot of time for Feyenoord.
I can see the
Yeah,
fire
no,
in his
but
eyes.
he's a really great striker.
And
Nobody
since I
believes
heard
me,
his
but
name, I've looked out for him.
He's
a lot.
going to be a big guy.
Just quickly, Chris, while we're talking, obviously you went
Yeah.
to watch Feyenoord on the weekend. Do you want to tell people who else you met at the Feyenoord game?
Yes. Well, met. I met Cesc Fabregas. Really nice guy.
Chris, I was talking about Pam in the tavern.
Oh yeah, Pam in the
I'm
tavern.
joking,
Yeah.
I'm joking. I was talking
And
about
Ken.
just- Oh, I'm Ken.
Ken
You
also. Yeah. I
got
first
both?
met Ken, and then I thought, "Where's Barbie?" But then Pam came, and I can tell you, Pam is such a more nice person than Barbie is, and Barbie is already a great person.
And you met Mark. Good old
Yeah.
Mark. Followed Malaga for a long time. You met all sorts of characters in there.
I met a few characters.
Fabregas.
No, it
didn't
was
come.
really great. If you're ever there, it's the home of the Peña International of Malaga Club de Football. It's a great bar. It's not the biggest bar. It has a huge toilet. It's insane. The biggest toilet you will ever see. It's a great
Even I
place. So if you're ever in Marps, whenever you're in Marps,
Matt, that's payback. That's payback for saying about the Eredivisie.
yeah. So when you're in Marps, you really should go to the tavern.
Yeah. For those that don't know, I hate
I was really shocked because it was also my first time in Marbella. I'm taking the time for this because I don't care. Marbella Football Center is like an insane place. If you ever have the chance to watch a match at the Marbella Football Center, like while you're watching two professional teams play, 6 are walking behind you, where you can take pictures with. It's such a nice place. And Marbella, well, it's the strangest place on earth I've ever been, to be honest.
Yeah, there you go.
If
We
that
had
makes
this
sense.
conversation-
But
we had this conversation Saturday.
Yeah.
So.
But Marbella Center like Marp Center, Old City Center, is beautiful, and it's really, really a place you should visit.
Yeah. There's don't think you're quite getting the job for the Marbella Tourist Board there, but you're obviously entitled to put your opinion across, which I don't fully disagree with.
I really like Marbella. That's for one thing.
always
Marbella, I
said,
like. It's just the thing when you're driving from Marbella Football Center, you're driving through the hills, and it's all like big villas and luxury, and I don't know. You have the feeling that you're not in Spain anymore, that you're in Miami or something. I don't know. It felt really strange.
No, I think that's fair enough. Like where my school is, it's got the most expensive residential streets in Spain around my school, 2 of them. So you're not wrong. It is strange, but it sort of adds a bit of character, I guess. Not the sort of character.
Not my kind of character.
No, that's sort of what I was about to say, and I thought, I've got to be careful. So anyway, that's Marbella. Come to Marbella.
Yeah,
Really quickly then, we've mentioned him loads of times on the pod. Dean Hyson, who we were following at Juventus because he came from Malaga's academy. He is from Marbella though. Born in Amsterdam, grew up in Marbella, played for Malaga youth, went to Juventus, and Jose Mourinho has signed him on loan to Roma, which seems really...
And he started.
He's wearing number 3, and Jose Mourinho is like, I think he said he's one of the highest quality projects in European football. It just seems strange that it's like a loan, and I couldn't see anything that suggested he can buy him.
No, I didn't.
I remember that in the first few episodes, I once talked about him when he wasn't in the news yet. He was just a small kid being a talent. And I said it back then. He was the biggest talent Malaga had in a long, long time. And he will be even better than Virgil van Dijk.
Well, the thing I've read is that he wants to play for Spain, from what I've read. I know he's played for Holland youth teams, but
I know.
That's what I think. I'm sure I read something like that. I'm sure he's happy to play for either. You can't really go wrong, can you? But
I think he would better be in the Dutch national team.
Okay.
That's what I think, because he would be a bigger star there.
Possibly. He seems to... Yes, he does seem to have quite a reputation. And if you're a defender and you're very young, and Jose Mourinho is signing you and starting you when you're that young, there must be something about you.
But that same Jose Mourinho said he would never manage a team like Malaga. So
yeah. Anyway,
I'm not really a big fan of Jose Mourinho.
Last thing in this section, people we are big fans of is the Malaga team, the Malaga manager, and the Malaga fans, and Super Boque. They all came together last week for a successful open training session. It looked like good fun, Luke Chambers.
It did. It was a great crowd. Plenty of gifts and autographs signed by players and staff for all the young Malaguistas. T-shirt cannons, and you know yourself, Malaga loves a T-shirt cannon all of a sudden.
Yeah, very recently this got into T-shirt cannons.
Yeah, and I saw a little clip, and I actually thought Super Boque was our new number 9. Because he took a little penalty, and I tell you what, he's taken penalties before.
Yeah, I think he's growing on the Malaga fan base. Is Super Boque. I think he's a bit of a figure of ridicule at the start, but I like him. And I don't know if you saw, Alex, all the sort of adorable letters to the Kings from the little Malaguistas asking for they want to meet Juanpe and they want a tracksuit. It was all very charming.
Yeah, I didn't see that. I all taken over by the letter from the Arandina players to Real Madrid, which was quite nice as well. But yeah, I it's a new thing for me, King's Day, because obviously, you know, I've lived in Spain around this time before, but never really know sort of what's going on because we don't really celebrate it in England. But yeah, it's nice to see all of the kids.
Didn't you go to the parade?
Yeah, I should have done, to be honest, but
because you would have the best view.
Yes.
I didn't this year. I usually go. I didn't this year.
I went. It was great.
Yeah, you've got kids.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I've always liked them when I've gone. I've just couldn't be bothered this year.
No. But did one of you eat a roscon?
No.
No, I don't like the look of it. I keep thinking I should do. Do you want to?
It's actually pretty nice. It has a nice taste.
Do you want to
What is
really
it, Chris?
explain, Chris, what a roscon is?
A roscon is a Spanish tradition which you eat with King's Day. It's a round cake filled with cream and with sweets on top, a few sweets on top.
It's like a
And
huge
inside you will find a bean,
Yeah.
a hard bean, and a little figure of a king.
Is it whoever gets the bean pays for the cake or something like that?
The person that gets the bean in his piece of cake, in his slice, pays the cake, and the one that gets the little king figure is the king for the rest of the day.
It sounds like it's a dental practicer's dream the day after King's Day.
Yeah, but you don't like go for it. You're really careful with.
Yeah, they're
You know,
quite big as well, aren't they? They're not little cakes. They are like giant donuts almost. Like
they have a hole in the middle.
Yeah.
But
King's
I
Day's
was
a
the king
huge
this
thing,
year.
isn't it?
Oh.
So my father was really I'm not a slim guy. I'm more a fat guy than a slim guy. So my dad was like a real feeder because he kept giving me cake. Not because I looked hungry, but he wanted me to pay for the cake.
That's quite a good tactic.
Yes. So he kept feeding me cake. I said, okay, another piece. And then I got the king. So you also get a crown head with it. So we were at the bar. So I put the crown on it and everybody laughing. And then said, now you're going to get the bean. So he gave me another slice of cake. And he said, I'm going to take one as well. And he got the bean, so he paid for it.
I tell you what, that's a lovely link, I think, Chris, because we're going to go from the Three Kings to talking about the King's Cup itself. We're going to talk about Malaga's game in the Copa del Rey against Real Sociedad. So yeah, there was Malaga's last slice of Copa del Rey action because we did get knocked out by Champions League Real Sociedad. Like we said at the start, it was a 1-0 loss, which feels quite disappointing. But I think as we go through this, we'll perhaps get onto the fact there was a lot of positives to take from it in general. As always, let's start with the headlines from the starting 11. Obviously, I was outside Barcelona Madrid with Chris, so we spoke about it then. So I'll ask the other two. The headlines I wrote down really were Mario was playing, but at right back it seemed. Aaron was starting. Aaron Ochoa Maloney. Sorry, Nick isn't here, so I'll do that for him. Musa was back in at centre back, played a few cup games, and Carlos Lopez, who has been our cup goalie, back in goal. Alex, were you happy with the young team? Perhaps, especially when Real Sociedad put out such a fairly strong team.
Yeah, I mean, if you had no idea of the quality of either side, you'd probably say that Malaga were the bigger team because they're playing some of their youngsters. But yeah, and I think it goes to show the level of confidence I have in those players. I'm just as happy with those guys playing as I would be the first teams because, I'm not sitting there thinking, oh, these guys are, lacking a bit of experience, like especially the goalkeeper, for example, Lopez. I think, not once have I felt like, or I don't think he belongs at this level. He's, Chris was right all along. He is very good. I think good to see them get a run out. And to be honest, the chances of us beating Real Sociedad was small. So why not try and do it in a fashion where some of the young lads get a runabout? And it was good to watch.
Yeah, but do you agree with that, Luke?
Yeah, I totally agree. When I saw the lineup, I was really excited by it. Again, for me, it shows the strength of our youth. I mean, we're playing against one of the greater teams in Europe currently, and we're playing 16 and 17-year-olds who they didn't look out of fashion. They look like they were made for that kind of level. I think it would have been very easy for Sergio Pellicer to play maybe our full strength team in this game. Purely thinking again, he didn't want to take a battering maybe. But yeah, I'm really happy that he picked that team and they played brilliant. And I've got to agree with Alex and agree with Chris's comments early in the season. Carlos Lopez is a fantastic goalkeeper.
Yeah, I'd say as well, like in the Baracaldo game, I thought he was pretty ropey at the start, but I think as that game went on, because obviously it was his first start for us at the senior level, I thought he's been excellent since. And like you said, I honestly think one of our best performances over the last 2 months was the game against Eldense, who, let's not forget, I know they're not like a big team, but they are a division above us. And there was a lot of the same team that played in that. And I think they earned the right to keep their place in that. I don't know if you guys saw as well, were any of you disappointed not to see Fran Sol and Ruben Castro in the starting lineup? Because you could bet on them with Bet365 Hispania to be first goal scorers.
I did see it on Twitter. I wonder if anybody did put 10 euros on that kind of bet.
I would want some pretty big odds. Chris, yeah, good to see the young lads out. Or any qualms?
No, pretty good. Was happy to see this squad.
And like
if there's anyone to blame for Malaga losing, it's Nick Bell.
Okay, explain.
Because every time Nick Bell says we're going to win something, we lose. Nick Bell was saying when we went to the Football Content Awards, he did book a flight back for the award. We didn't win. He was very certain we were going to win the cup this season. Well, we're not. So, Nick Bell, I want to ask you one thing. Never, ever say again that we are going to win something.
Sorry to plug the Vamos episode again, but I did find the anti-Nick Bell in Orihuela, in Pablo the Brighton fan, who, when I asked him, he said Malaga are going to lose, and I looked at him as if to say, you can't say that on our podcast, and he said, no, I always say we're going to lose and we keep winning. So maybe they're like yang of
or maybe Nick should just say we're going to lose and then we win.
Okay, I like that. That's what Pablo's doing. Pablo the Brighton fan. Shout out to Pablo the Brighton fan. If you
who hates Crystal Palace.
Yeah, he does not like Crystal Palace. Anyway, Chris, you were there. Let's start with you. Again, obviously, you're in a different part of the stand to me, different part of the stadium, sorry. From where I was sitting, I thought Malaga started pretty well, and then Real Sociedad sort of thought, right, we just need to put our foot on the ball and put things at our pace a bit more. Would you agree with that?
I would say that you can see the difference between a Primera División team and a Segunda B team, which is totally normal and makes total sense. I think Real Sociedad let Malaga play for a while and then thought, okay, now it's our turn, and they showed the difference in quality.
Yeah, they're passing.
Which is totally normal, by the way.
Yeah, I thought we started quite brave and we're trying to pass the ball around, but Real Sociedad are renowned for being quite in your face, and they're fast and they're young and they're dynamic, and there was only so long we could sustain that, and then they really did grab the game. I don't know, Alex, is that how it looked on TV as well?
I mean, I felt like they were in control, but it wasn't like, I wasn't sat on the edge of my seat thinking, "Core blimey, they could put 6 past us." Like, I think we managed to contain them well, although, they did have their chances.
Big chances.
Big
they were
chances.
definitely in control of the game, and it was hard, I think, for us. If we were going to get a goal, I think it had to have come in the early 15, 20 minutes whilst they were getting into the game, because beyond then they were far the much better team.
Luke, you just agreed with Chris there with the big chances. Again, all I've got written down, I'll be totally honest with you, I've not gone back and watched the highlights at all. The only one I can remember, like the ball near post and it's Carlos Lopez saved it or hit him in the face or something. I can't remember big chances.
I think it was about after half an hour. I think Real Sociedad really put the tempo up a little bit, and a few chances came, and I think it was Zakarian, I think he was called, on the back post. Ball came across, and he was literally in absolute acres on his own. Tried to volley it and like sliced it, I guess.
That's true, yeah. And it went out for a throw in.
Yeah, and there just seemed to be 2 or 3 of the same chance within a couple of minutes. But I totally agree with you guys. Like, Malaga came out for I mean, I've got written down the first 15 minutes. I thought relatively comfortable, stable. But Real Sociedad they're a top class team, and I think for the remainder of the first half, they controlled the tempo of the game.
Yeah, but we were closest to scoring the opening goal of the match.
Yeah. Well, did you
with Victor?
Just on the start of the game again? Did you guys see the videos from in the changing rooms?
Yeah.
No.
Like they were.
Yeah. I thought you meant did we see
it? Like they were hyped, weren't they? Malaga they were up for this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I guess Chris has just referred to probably our moment of the first half, which sort of just came from nowhere, where the ball was on the edge of the box and Victor Garcia just sort of swung a left-footed in. By golly, did he swing a left-footed it? Because their goalie did not move. I didn't know what it hit, because I think in the WhatsApp group I said,
hit the post.
But it did hit the post. I did.
It nearly broke the post.
Oh, yeah, I could hear it. It was really like, that was...
If that would have gone in, it would be serious, interesting what the end result would be.
Yes, because it was sort of about half
Alex,
hour.
can you ask the police guy? Can you tell them we are recording?
Sorry.
Them to fuck themselves for a while.
Alex, we've spoke about this before. Something always happens on your street.
It is a busy street. It's got about
Just tell them to fuck up for a while. To fuck off. I mean, there are probably more crime in the city of Madrid.
Shall I go back
why do they always have to catch them in your street?
I'll go back to Norfolk, where all you could hear was the sound of birds tweeting.
Yeah,
I think there's much more crime where I live than anywhere here, but it's much more.
I totally agree.
For anyone that's not checked it out, definitely go and check out the Guardian article about Marbella from about a year, 18 months ago, where it talks about it as the crime capital of the world, which is very interesting read. Anyway, we almost stole a goal, and that would have been a crime.
Nice.
But yeah,
it wouldn't be a crime because it would be a fantastic goal.
And it'd be nice. Again, we might be seeing Victor playing a bit further forward over the next few weeks. It'll be good to see him again in those positions. We've talked about how good his crossing was at the start of the season. It'd be if he can hit a shot like that.
And it's a back that does what nobody else has the guts to do or had the guts to do in the whole match.
To take a shot.
Take a shot.
The thing is as well, you guys may not have seen it, obviously, with the hype of the Victor shot. The ball then went out to Hakeem, who fired it across, and Antonito was on the back post, but it was 2 or 3 yards off it, to be fair. But if he a little bit more instinct, and again, that could have been a goal.
Oh no, trust me, I did see that. I was still like bouncing, and because I thought, again, because it was the other side of the pitch to us, I thought he was on the end of that cross at one point. So so like I was going to say, I think overall, I think we've probably summed it up really, but I was happy to get in at halftime and thinking we're quite lucky to get in a 0-0, but also I was quite happy too. I think Alex said, I think they did have good chances, but there wasn't like real alarm bells ringing for me that it could have been like a hammering. I don't know if anyone else agrees.
I think we didn't have like big chances except for the Victor one, but I thought we were like getting there somehow, or we had the possibilities to score a match at first half. So I was quite happy.
Yeah, I tell you what, let's mention him now. Like you're saying about making things happen, I think Aaron Ochoa Maloney seems to like the cup. I thought he was the one that looked like making something happen out of anyone. Would you agree with that, Luke?
Yeah, I mean, how is this guy 16 years old? He's burst onto the scene as if he's got 40, 50 appearances under his belt. I mean, I don't know if you guys have seen the pictures where they commenting when he was playing in the juniors at the beginning of the season in front of like 30 people. And now he's coming up and tearing it up against La Real in the Copa del Rey. It's like, how?
He mugged someone off with a nutmeg, didn't he? And that was
Yeah.
that was lovely. There was lots of there was about a 5-minute period in the stadium, and obviously Chris would have picked up on it too, where every time he got the ball, everyone was sort of like proper edge of the seat. What's he gonna do? It was only about 5 minutes or so, but it was quite fun because it was when
you could tell he's a real confident player as well. I mean, he's 16 years old. He should be wearing black boots right now. He's got the brightest red boots, which shows he oozes with confidence.
Absolutely.
He can even wear white boots. He has the talent even to pull off white boots.
Because that's what I grew up with. White equals flash boots, but have we got black boots? No, because I wouldn't say Einar wears very black boots, doesn't he? He's certainly not flash. Okay, well, there you go. That links us in quite nicely, I guess.
Perfect.
The second half, we talked about Einar not being flash, but he did get a goal, but sadly in the wrong net. Again, I think I've only seen the highlights of this once. So, Alex, you can tell me what happened.
Yeah, it was sort of cross. Originally, I thought it was, I can't remember the La Real player's name.
Zubayelda.
That's the one. I originally thought, and I think on some of the apps, it was noted down as one of his goals. But I think it was one of those ones. Yeah, it didn't feel like a major mistake. You know, it felt more just sort of, you know, try and get your head on it. And unfortunately, it just caught the wrong side of his head and headed into the back of the net. And I thought from that moment, I was like, well, that's it. At 0-0, you never know. But once they go a goal down, it just, I was quite deflated after that.
Yeah, there was, to be honest with you, and again, I don't know if Chris will agree with this, there was a sort of feeling in the stadium of like, never mind. And looking at the players, I thought, their head's gone too. But actually, fair play to them. They did get themselves back up for it. I don't know. Did you feel that, Chris?
No, I didn't feel that at all.
Okay.
What I felt after that goal down, the whole stadium stopped believing in getting a result. We noticed it in my part of the stadium, Fondo Sur, where it just went quiet, and they tried to get the singing going on, but
no. But I sort of think that's what I mean, and I think for a bit it was deflated. But I think when the way they were running around and the effort they put in the last 15 minutes, I think the stadium did get up for it a bit more again. That's
yes and no, because it's also, if you look at what we created in the rest of the second half, it's nothing. It was one shot from Dani Lorenzo or La Rubia.
There was the Kevin volley as well, which he hit straight at the goalie. There was looked like he was going to smash it, and he sort of did.
But there was also a big chance. I think it's from La Rubia.
Oh,
who had all the time.
Yeah, and he hit it first time.
Had all the time, and I don't know why some players do that. That he just like he didn't want to score. He didn't put any real power behind the ball.
Yeah, he tried to curl it in, didn't he? But in his defense, I guess, they were on us all the time. I don't think he had as much time as people, to put his foot on it, control it, curl it in. He should have done better, I think, but I sort of sympathize as well. I don't know, what Luke, what did you think of the sort of second half? Did you sort of give up hope, or did they give you hope as the half went on?
I agree with what you guys have said.
Bye, Luke.
A little bit. I'm back. Yeah, from just being sat on the floor at Belfast Airport, I was quite dejected when the goal went in. I think it took the team another 10 minutes to settle, but then it was as if they just thought, "Fuck it, let's have some fun. Let's give these guys a game."
Yeah,
which they did. And I agree with what Chris said. In terms of chances, was there any real chances? Probably not. But Malaga were definitely on the ascendancy.
They were trying
forward. Yeah,
but then it was what did I watch? I watched Kevin does his one-man show again, and it was him again doing his solo tricks, which end up in nothing. Nobody took the chance to take a shot on goal. It's frustrating.
Yeah, it really is.
Because every time we came close to the box, it ended up in nothing. It ended up in
But arguably,
putting the ball back.
The only player that did take shots was Kevin. He hit one on target, and it was the one where he cut in and he put it, a yard or two wide. And I'm not saying he should have perhaps done better with it as well.
Yeah, 2 shots. But did you see how many
He took it down
moments he was dribbling again and lost the ball to nothing, ended up in nothing?
I think he did lose it once or twice out there, but equally...
No, more times.
No, I don't think so.
Because everybody around me was getting frustrated with Kevin.
But is this the difference between a Primera team and a La Liga team? They were looking after the ball better. This was a typical cup tie. Malaga being the lower ranked club who was trying to go forward.
But it's a standard dribbling where he loses he makes a good effort 4 times a match, but 6th time he loses the ball.
Well, just go again. We can agree to disagree on that one, but I do think though, we did rile them a bit. They were sort of shithousing and taking fouls for yellow cards and time wasting and the 3 of you have said. I think that we didn't create much and we did lack that cutting edge, and maybe Aaron Ochoa was the one that was, obviously we had to take him off. He's 16, but Roberto was loving it out there. Roberto was loving getting stuck into Lenormand.
And
I
he praised him after the game, didn't he?
Yeah, I think they both praised each other after the game, didn't they? And I think they swapped shirts. I read as well.
Do you guys think that yes, it was a 3rd round cup tie, but was this the biggest game of some of our players' career? When you think of we haven't got that many experienced players.
That's a good question. I guess the ones that were perhaps there at the end of last season and playing in those relegation sort of. Although I suppose there's not many of them left from that now I think about it. I guess, and obviously we'll perhaps talk about some of them at the end. Obviously, some of them have got a connection to Real Sociedad, and I can totally understand why it's a big game for them. Yeah, I suppose to some, I don't know. I guess you'd have to ask the players there.
Yeah.
But I guess we should perhaps sort of start wrapping things up and sort of ask Chris. We'll start with you. You've sort of, I know we've joked about it and stuff and said you don't like the cup, and I know that's not 100% what you've been saying. But do you think this sort of a performance to be proud of, and we can take positives ahead in the league? Yeah,
sure. I think Malaga didn't play very bad. I think they played good in a certain way. But I missed the real chances and the attacking. It's always the ball back. That's what frustrates me. Or it's always trying to dribble and then lose the ball to the defenders of the other team.
Equally, this
because we didn't mention Musa.
Well,
not yet. Not
yet.
Not yet.
I was going to say, I think it is worth noting. I know we've talked about them Champions League and stuff, but they did top a group and have beaten Inter Milan and Benfica. So
yeah, I mean Malaga did a pretty good job there. So
this wasn't far off their first team.
Yeah, apart from the players duty on Asian and African Cup duty.
Yeah,
but let's be honest. If Kubo was playing, it would be a whole different match.
Well, yeah, but he wasn't. So
he wasn't. Yeah.
Who knows? He might have stepped up a bit more. Okay, I think I don't know if you, Alex or Luke, you want to say anything else about the performance before we get into Chumbo and Biznaga?
No, I think we should be proud of ourselves for the performance we put in. Again, we've mentioned this countless times. Shocking in front of goal, I think, is the only way to put it, really. That needs to be improved. But, I think it's an experience for those young players and hopefully something that they can learn from and take forward into the second half of the season.
Absolutely. Okay, then let's go into Chumbo. I'll go to you first, Chris, since I think you might have nailed yours already.
Yeah.
He's getting ready.
Kevin.
Fine.
Kevin is my Chumbo.
Okay. No problem.
I'll stick with that.
Okay.
Matt, you look like you've just
You
got a
probably
knife in your back.
will say how great he is, and he's want to mention, and I love you, Kevin.
No,
But
it's fine. I've
you
given
have
him
to
the
take your
Chumbo
Kevin glasses off. Eventually.
I'm not saying he was great either. I to be honest with you, I found this game really, really difficult to pick a Chumbo, and even my one I've chosen, I'm not fully satisfied with, and it feels harsh. So actually, on that point, I may as well say mine. Lovely stuff after the game, swapping shirts with Oriozola, his mate. And I don't think Sangali was bad, and it was nothing to do with effort and stuff, but he was giving the ball away a lot. There was like a half-hour period where he was sort of like he was winning the ball back and then giving it straight back to them. But I was struggling to think of anyone else to pick. So I'm going to pick Sangali, but not that I thought he was really bad either. Alex, I'll go to you next.
Yeah, it's hard. I don't really want to give anyone. I think, yeah, the young lads, it feels wrong to give them one. I think Antonio Cordero, it's nice to see him get a start. But yeah, I didn't see a lot from him. Sangali, again, kind of quiet. But yeah, I think I feel harsh doing this. But yeah, just purely based on the fact that he didn't really offer much. Antonio Cordero is the Chumbo for me.
He was probably going to be my second choice, actually. But maybe he's got away with it because I didn't notice him as much. Luke, anyone different?
Yes, I've gone with Einar.
Okay.
Not just because it was an own goal. I think it's been a tricky couple of weeks for him. I don't think he's looking the player that we signed currently. And sometimes, if you score an own goal and get beat 1-0 when you're not in the greatest of form, it's just one of them unfortunate things. But I just think the young boys either side of him, they look like they were players with more experience than Einar, whereas Einar should be taking command of that defence maybe. Again, it's quite harsh, but it's just little things.
Well, I'm not, again, I find it really difficult, but I'm not, sort of in my honourable mentions bit, I have made a note that I think this was Einar's best game in a few weeks. Not that I'm saying that he was like imperious, but I just thought he'd upped his game a bit. And maybe, I don't know, maybe because I was at that Intercity game and saw how bad he was up. Well, they all were up close. So maybe I was like, oh, that's more like it against tough opposition. But yeah,
in games like this, it is not picking, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, they were all sort of
apart from Kevin with Chris.
Anyway, Biznaga then. Go on, Chris. I'll start with you here.
Biznaga. Difficult one. I think there are two names that really stand out for me.
Okay.
And that's Carlos Lopez.
Okay, interesting.
And Musa.
Okay. So you pick.
I think I'm going with Musa.
Okay.
Because of his long injury.
Yeah. Well, I'll go second again. For me, there's no doubt. I thought Musa was absolutely brilliant. I think he's been really, really good in the last few games he's played. And there was just like times in this game where he looked like Rio Ferdinand. He was just sort of taking it out and sort of wandering up the pitch with the ball, just skipping past.
Yeah, but he was
excellent.
The only player in the whole match, for me, that could take on the level of Primera División.
Yeah, he dealt with a Spanish international striker. And I think he dealt with him. I think I didn't really notice Oyarzabal very much. So, yeah, for me, he was the standout for me. The honourable mention I wrote down, I've said him already, is I just thought Roberto just run himself into the floor. But I know we've said that week in, week out. He's never gonna not give us effort. But considering who he was up against and to cause such issues, and then, like you said, we lacked cutting edge and maybe didn't create as much chances. But I don't think it was anything to do with him. I think he was getting the ball for us or making them make mistakes, and we needed someone to pounce on it. But yeah, for me,
And
Musa.
even the moments he came up the pitch with the ball at his feet, he felt so confident.
Yeah, he looked awesome.
He was,
like I said, he looked like Rio Ferdinand. He was like looking
Yeah.
around, saying, who wants to pass?
I mean, he's also the player that got me most sitting on the edge of my
Me
seat.
too.
Like now it's going to happen.
And again, like we've talked about,
That's something Kevin should do, by the way.
yeah, he should. He does.
But he didn't.
I think he did. I think he took the ball down the wing a couple of times and skipped past two of them at one point and didn't quite get the cross off. He got blocked. But anyway, we've done that bit. We're just going to go around in circles again. Musa, yeah, I think he was excellent. And we talked about how bad the two centre-backs were against Intercity. There could be a place up for grabs, I think. I think it'd be really harsh to drop Musa at the moment. So, Alex, anyone different?
Yeah, a few honourable mentions. I thought Joaquin was impressive, put in some decent crosses. Obviously, Aaron Ochoa is always lovely to see him play. Musa, I think, was fantastic, but I want to give it to Carlos Lopez. I think just, as much as I love Herrero, if Herrero wasn't there, I'd be happy with Carlos Lopez playing week in, week out. He's
I
fantastic.
wouldn't say that.
I mean, I would be happy with it.
A bit too much.
Obviously, I'd much prefer to have the experience in Herrero, but I'd be very happy with Carlos Lopez.
I agree.
He's. I mean, the age
He's going to be a great goalkeeper.
The age he is, he shows experience well beyond that age, and he was my Biznaga for this game.
Just quickly, while you've mentioned him, is and talking about maybe it's not good if we're in the cup and that conversation again. I don't know if you saw Pellicer's comments after the game where he said in the last few minutes, if we'd got a corner, he wouldn't have let Carlos Lopez go up. He said, no, he basically said, I'd rather us just go out the cup, which I thought was quite honest of him. Luke, anyone different?
Yeah, well, you guys, you've really surprised me here. When you send the agendas, Matt, I tend to write a couple of notes, and I'll go with something a bit different, and that's Musa.
Oh.
I thought you guys were going to go with the fans' Biznaga, Aaron Ochoa Maloney, who won with 42%.
No.
So
We're not
for everyone
Miguel.
voting. But yeah, I had three names written down: Ochoa, Musa, and Carlos Lopez. So yeah, you've all covered it.
All right, there you go. Well done, Musa. I'm really, really excited about seeing more of him. I think he looks like the most fun centre-back we've got at the moment. Not saying the best, but certainly the most fun. And who knows, maybe he could be in the starting 11 next week where we go to Ceuta. So in this time, we'd usually preview our mainland Spanish opponents, but this time for Africa, Semina Mina, Waka Waka, Semina Mina, Angola, this time for Africa.
You can't stop this man.
It's not Africa. It's Spain.
Do you know what? You know what's blown my mind though? I had a different intro there. I was going to say to Alex, what time is it, Alex? And I was going to say, it's time for Africa. I always thought the lyrics were, it's time for Africa. Blew my mind this afternoon when I found out this time for Africa. I've looked like an idiot for years when I've been dancing Waka Waka and sort of dance floors around Spain. I should say asterisk, we're not going to Africa. We're actually going to Spain on the coast of North Africa, just in case I upset the people over there. It was meant to be a joke. I do not want to cause any sort of diplomatic issue before I get there. So let's go into it. I don't know. I think we've talked about. I should perhaps ask you and Alex and Luke. What do you think that cup performance has given us positives going into this league game?
Definitely. I think we should be confident. I think we were saying off air, we're unbeaten in 6 in the league. since the Alcoyano game, which I think the lesson learnt there is we should never go ever again, me and Luke. No, I think we should take confidence into it, and against the team like Ceuta, who are mid-table, we should be looking at picking up points against 3 points against teams like that, because the more we struggle to do that, the more we'll see that gap between Ibiza and Castellón grow. Because if we'd have beaten Intercity, and I'm not saying we can if buts and maybes all day, but that gap's down to 4 points. It feels a lot better than what it is now. So I just think we can't afford to drop points against the teams that are not challenging us for those top 3 spots.
Yeah. Would you agree with that, Luke?
Yeah, totally agree. I don't really see any negatives in the performance, what we gave the other night against one of the best clubs in Europe. The team, the whole squad, not just the starting 11, the whole squad should be filled with confidence.
Yeah, absolutely. I just sort of figured this is a bit, I know in when we sort of do these previews, I'd say, what do you know about this club? And it's usually we've dug up some random stuff. I think I should probably start by saying, just in case people are thinking, what on earth is he going about at the start with going to enclaves, and why is he singing about Africa and Waka Waka? For those that don't know, just to be clear, and again, my teachery moment here, for those that don't know, Ceuta is actually on the sort of North African coastline. It's sort of amongst Morocco, but it is Spanish land, it's Spanish territory, just in case you're wondering what we're going on about. There's that and Melilla, who are also in our league, just in case you don't know that. So that's why I'm going across on a boat this week to this week's away game. But I will ask, I don't know, Luke, you're usually the one that digs into all this. What do you know about Ceuta?
I've not got too much, to be honest, but they draw a lot of games. They've drawn 7 out of 17 so far. Both Ibiza and Castellón have both been over to Africa, well, to Spain, North African border, and won.
Oh, I do like saying that.
Yeah, they haven't won in the last 4 either. Don't get me wrong, I don't believe this is going to be a straightforward game. I see it as an away day, which just oozes a tricky day. But the Estadio Alfonso Marube holds 6,500, I believe. I don't know how many Malaguistas are going over.
Well, again, I won't mention names. I think I mentioned to you guys just before we press record that I was told that a Peña had a certain number of tickets, and then the club told them we need to take, so I think it was about 110 tickets, and then they said, oh, we can only give you 80. But then the club have given them all 110 now. So did make me think, oh, maybe there is quite a lot going over, actually, if the club were worried about not having enough tickets. So perhaps this is worth mentioning as well for anyone that hasn't seen the announcement that if you do try to go in the home end in a Malaga shirt or Malaga colours, the club have made it very clear you'll be moved into the away end. And if the away end is full, you will be ejected from the stadium. So just in case anyone's thinking of going over that's not hear that announcement. I'm very much looking forward to it. I will say, actually, sorry, Luke, it's 5 games they haven't won in.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, the last win was against Granada, the crap Granada, November the 10th. But yeah, I sort of dug into a few little bits, and again, if anybody wants to throw anything out, they do have they sort of, the name that kept coming up was Nito Gonzalez, and just to scare you guys a bit, this is a guy with silverware to his name. This guy won the 2017-2018 Gibraltar Cup with Europa FC. So
shit.
Yeah,
well, we're screwed.
We're doomed.
So watch out for this.
That's on a similar level to winning the Somerset Cup. That is.
I mean, Gibraltar has the league with the plumbers and the bakers and the normal people like us starting a team, right?
Yeah. Well, Bruno's Magpies. It's there.
Where it's the only country, or it's not a country. I don't know what it is.
Oh God, we're going to get in so much trouble with all these diplomatic.
It's England, but it's also not England, because if it was England, they would play in the Premier League. But it's the only country.
Remember, we have Joe Fain,
and they have their own national league. national team. It's the young country where we could be professional footballers
Oh, I don't know about
in
that.
Europe.
What about
In
that?
Europe.
I listened to their again, shout out to another podcast. Listen to the Sweeper podcast today, and they had a conversation on there about if you wanted to try and go pro anywhere, what would the best country to try and do it in? And I think they did mention Gibraltar, and then I think they talked about Andorra for quite a bit. I can't remember.
But that's not true, because Andorra, like the biggest Andorra team, plays real professional
Yeah,
football.
but they meant the league. They meant the league.
Yeah.
But then they made the point that Andorra is technically semi-pro, as I suppose probably Gibraltar is.
Yeah.
Micronesia was the one they came up with in the end, because Paul Watson wrote a book about trying to become Micronesian international and ended up being their manager instead, which is a very fun book. Up Pompey, read that. Does the name Thomas Mejias?
Yeah. Yes, there we go. You've
Go on
got it. That
Go
is
on
the
then.
one player I've got written down.
Go on then, Luke. I'll let you do the bit here.
It's just what you all know, Matt. The only player I've heard is, and I'm not sure if he's the number one or the sub goalkeeper at the moment.
Oh, he looks like the number one from what I
Is he?
gather.
So the
Well,
only
that's
reason
played
you
a
may
lot.
know Thomas Mias is because he was Middlesbrough's number 2 or number 6 for several years. He had quite a few loan spells. That is literally the only name of any sort what jumps at me.
Well, fair play to him. Like, I was just going through. I think he's played a game for actual Real Madrid. I
Yeah,
couldn't
he
work
did.
out.
He did.
Played for Real Madrid, played for Middlesbrough, played for Rayo Vallecano, played for Omana in Cyprus, played for Middlesbrough again, played for Dinamo Bucharest, Ankara Sport. Then he ended up at Western Sydney Wanderers, which, they have won the like Asian equivalent of the Champions League. So he's been about, and then he's ended up with Ceuta from there. It's a mad career. I love people.
I think
like
when he were young and I was at Real Madrid, it was classed as an up and coming, a good talent. But I've just got it up as well. It was a weird one because when no, it wasn't actually. No, ignore that. But Real Madrid did think a lot of him. So when Borough did sign him, it was classed as a decent signing, and it just never materialised.
So keep an eye out for any I'm sure we've got a Middlesbrough fan that listens, don't we?
Callum.
Callum, that's it. So there you go, Callum. If you're watching on Sunday, keep an eye out for an ex-Borough boy. I'm sure he misses the Parmos. Chris, I don't know if you noticed this. He's not played for the first team, but I'm sure he's a player we mentioned in a very, very, very early podcast. Jesus Hoyos plays for their B team. Do you remember him?
Yes.
Yeah, he was like really, really highly tipped. I remember when I first started watching Malaga, so I was quite surprised. He's not in the first team; he's in the B team. So
we didn't miss much there then.
No, there was 2 of them. I was trying to remember. There was Hoyos and there was another. There was like 2 of them. They were bigging up at the same time. But the fact I've forgotten the other one's name isn't a good sign. There's a guy called Saturday.
Yeah, I thought that was fun.
I don't know if you clicked on his Wikipedia and saw where he played his youth football. He started at the BJ Foundation. I was very childish about and giggled up.
I have some news. Also something for you, Matt.
Go for it.
Once you step off the boat.
Okay.
Once you step off the love boat.
Is this news or warning?
No, it's not a warning. It's not news because Ceuta is pretty nice.
Okay.
Once you step off the boat, it's a 20-minute walk to the stadium.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't need to get a taxi.
No, I know. I knew.
You can just have a nice walk through Ceuta.
Yeah, that's the plan. I get off at 12:30 Saturday, so I've got all of Saturday to explore Ceuta. My hotel is sort of next to the really nice sort of park on top of the hill. I think it's called Mediterranean Park or something like that. I'm going to see. There's a place in the plaza called House of Dragons. So as a Welshman,
I have an uncle who lives in Ceuta.
Oh, really?
Yes, with my aunt. So I was planning to go, but then I saw like the prices of the boat and all the things you have to do to get there. And for a Sunday, I thought,
just asking for a friend. What are all the things you have to do together? Am I missing some sort of visa or something?
No. But the cost of the boat, it's like My friend looked it up. It was 70 euros or 60 euros.
I think I paid, I think for a return, I've paid about 110, 115.
Yeah. And I
It's
thought,
not cheap. I'd agree with
if
that.
if
Especially
I was going on a Sunday morning, and I would go back directly after the match, and then it's not really worth it, right? 110 euros
I'd
for
agree.
a couple of hours. So
I think I wouldn't have bothered if I could only go Sunday.
no. So I'm putting all my hopes up for the Granada away match.
Yes, which again, we were with Granada's number one Geary fan on Sunday, Chris. We were with Aidan Shearer, or who people will know as, I've got his name on Twitter, Granada
Escocia.
Yeah, for someone who doesn't like support Malaga, he comes over quite a lot, doesn't he?
Yeah, he sort of
I think he lived in Benalmadena at one bit.
He lived in Benalmadena for a bit, yeah. I can't remember if he did like his Erasmus year or he did something down here. So
I asked him, like, I said, you must be a bit of a Malaga fan, but
and also I didn't know, but I used
know.
to do a bit of writing for a website called Get Spanish Football News. I can't remember exactly. Forgive me if he's listening, Kieran. But this guy called Kieran was the editor of that. And this guy came up to me and said, "Hi, Matt, I'm Kieran." I was like, "Oh, years ago I wrote for them. I wrote bits about Malaga for them." So that was quite cool to meet him. And we met Aidan's brother too. It was quite a nice little meet up there. But yeah, I've put in the running order on the agenda. Is this the most exciting away trip? I've sort of just put that for me to answer. Yes, this is the one I am most excited about.
It would be if someone arranged a helicopter.
No, I want to go on the boat. I want to go on the boat.
Any name, Chris?
No, I'm not saying any names. We have a listener and a good friend of the podcast who was going to get a helicopter, who was going to arrange a helicopter, so we could go. If we would go on a helicopter, I would definitely go.
No, the reason for me that makes it most exciting is the boat. Because like you said, Chris, it's like you get off the boat and then I could like walk to the ground. And after the game, I'm going to watch the game and I'm going to walk to a boat.
Yeah, that is so cool. I mean, how many times do you cross a continent to go watch a football match? In the same
You're not crossing a continent, do you?
Well, like we are crossing to a different continental mainland, I guess is how we should work.
I think it's more special for you than it is for Spanish people.
Yeah, I think so. I get what you mean, because I have like mentioned all pretty much since we got relegated. I want to go to Ceuta. And like some of my Spanish colleagues, like, oh right, yeah, it's all right. It's nice.
Yeah,
like, oh. And it's not.
I mean,
not like
my uncle travels like every 2 weeks from Ceuta to Benalmadena, and then I don't know. It's nobody thinks it's special here or something. It's just another Spanish city that happens to be on the other side. I mean, is it also that special to go to Gran Canaria then?
Yeah, I think it was actually. Like when I went to Las Palmas, that generally did feel thrilling to me because I was going to an island. And partly, like when I went to Ibiza, it wasn't quite, Ibiza's got all this sort of connotations about it, but it wasn't quite as exciting because I'd used up that excitement when I went to Las Palmas away. That was like,
I genuinely think Malaga fans are more exciting to go to Ibiza than go to Ceuta.
Yeah, again, because obviously it's got vibes, isn't it, about it? Whereas perhaps Ceuta's not as sexy to some, but to someone that likes random football teams and random geography. I like when I lived in Slovakia, there's a Hungarian team which are in Slovakia and they want to be Hungarian, and just going there was mad. I love all things like that. And even Gibraltar's a bit weird and interesting, and Andorra. So this is absolutely like perfect for me. More excited than Melilla. I can't quite put my finger on why. Maybe it's because I can sometimes see Ceuta from Marbella, so it's been teasing me for years.
I was just about to say, is it the same as Melilla then, Chris? Is just the same feel from the Spanish? Would you say?
Yeah, but Melilla is different.
You can fly to Melilla, can't you?
Yeah, but I don't want to go too much into it. But Melilla is a bit a lot more dangerous than Ceuta.
It's
Yeah.
definitely got a more ropey reputation. I'll say reputation. I don't know, but yeah, if I'm going there, which I'm trying to do as well, I'd probably have to fly, to be honest with you.
Is Ceuta known for anything then? Is it known as a nice place or just a standard city?
It's known for being on the other side of the sea.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It doesn't have much.
It was in one of the Spanish newspapers quite recently where, again, like Chris said, it's most people I speak to say it's really nice, and but there is like a neighborhood next to the border which has the highest crime rate in Spain, I think. So again, I probably won't be near there, but like they made headlines for that quite recently, and they say like, just don't go near it.
Be careful.
That's that again, I don't want to just say, or I don't want to be associated with that, because I have friends, like I have a friend who does like swimming competitions and like in the sea and stuff, and he goes over there once every 6 months or so, and it's like one of his favorite sort of days out, really. He loves it.
Yeah, but it's also a nice city.
Yeah, exactly. I was just saying it made headlines for that recently, but I don't want to tarnish it with that brush almost. Like Chris said, I think it is just renowned as a nice place. Oh, isn't it a bit weird that it's on the African mainland? So
yeah, it is unique. You can see how it's unique from an outside point of view.
Well, it's the only 2 European enclaves on African soil, I think. I think they're the only 2 enclaves not owned by Africa. There's definitely something like that. Anyway, that's it. I will record a Vamos episode to capture this uniqueness, maybe, although maybe you're going to be let down because Chris has told us it's very normal. Just quickly then to wrap things up, Alex, Malaga team, obviously we mentioned it earlier. Kevin is injured for the next 3 weeks, so we need to find someone to replace him. Is there anyone from the Real Sociedad game you think keeps their place? Like, for example, I don't know, does Aaron Ochoa come in for Kevin? I know slightly different position, but what do you think?
Yeah, I think, keep it fairly similar. Obviously, I think it makes sense to go back to Herrero in goal and at the back. I wouldn't be opposed to seeing Musa playing at the back. I think that would be a good move. In terms of the midfield, whether you can jig things around a bit, I probably wouldn't start Sangali, I don't think, just on form, basically. But other than that, I would keep it fairly similar, maybe bring in a few more of the experienced heads rather than a full team of youth. I think we got to concentrate on getting the 3 points as much as possible.
Yeah, I think I'd like to see Musa start just because I think he offers us a bit more going forward, which is weird to say from a centre back. The only sort of changes I would make, I think I might have alluded to it earlier, and I think Pellicer will do it, is Victor Garcia will move up where Kevin would play and Danny Sanchez will come in. David Larrubia at number 10 and get Dione back out on the right, which I know we've not been that big on this podcast, and I'm not huge on it, but we seem to do quite well when he's there. So, Luke, what about you? Any sort of things you really want to see?
I totally agree with what you've just said, Matt. I'd happily see Musa come in, and I think the Victor move would be a very good move, a very stable move. I think it will happen in terms of Dione starting, but I would happy enough see Dione start on the bench with more of a natural winger play. And then, I mean, we've lost our amazing goal scoring Lauren Zuniga off the bench, so we have no striker on the bench. If we had Dione on the bench, maybe that's a bit of a kick up the ass for Roberto, or if it's all going wrong, Dione can come on and play.
We've said this a few times. I don't think he's ever played up front for us. I don't think that's going to happen.
I think did he come on against Recreativo away in Huelva when he came on and he scored and he took the goal like a centre forward for the first time all season. He looked like a number 9, and maybe that was the only time he's actually put him there.
But equally, like, he's the one that keeps saying he's not number 9, and Pellicer.
I did see that.
And again, like, I don't know, Chris, you've got anything to add to this? Like, again, I don't know if I'm forgetting someone, but who is the right winger that would play there? Because is Hernandez fully fit?
You may be looking at Antonito, maybe, but like
Yeah.
Alex said, he didn't have the greatest of games. But
I quite
we
like
should
Joaquin playing further forward. You know,
Yeah, that's
I think-
true. We did play with wing backs. We should have mentioned that actually, that we played sort of three at the back against Real Sociedad, and yeah, that's not a bad shout actually. Alex, I sort of forgot about that.
And I think Diego Murillo. Well, depends on who we play it in that right back position, but I wouldn't be opposed to seeing Joaquin play as a right midfielder.
I dare say our fullbacks have been our strongest point this season. They've been fantastic.
Yeah, to be honest with you, Alex, more I think about it, I'm quite up for the three at the back again. I thought we worked quite well against Real Sociedad, and why not here? Chris, anything you're desperate to see out on the pitch over in the enclave?
Musa. I think he really will do great in this match. I don't know why. I just have this feeling that this will be Musa's match. I don't know why. I just don't know why.
Well,
I think he was so good against Real Sociedad. Like, you can't bench him now. You really can't. And I would like to see... I'm talking, Alex. I would like to see Mr. Maloney.
Yeah.
Now it's your turn, Alex.
No, I was going to ask, do we have a return date on Nelson Monte?
He's going pretty good with his recovery, actually.
Yeah, he did a light training at the open training session.
I think I will expect him in 2 to 3 weeks.
Okay. And Ramon still...
Ramon is,
I
don't dare to say anything about him anymore.
No.
But I think he should be okay for also 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Said that 2 or 3 months ago.
until David Picon puts the tweet up. Ramon has injured his.
Well, it's not
left
David
toenail.
Picon actually. It's the Malaga press department who says it in the WhatsApp group, which I'm every day very scary to read when I receive a message from that WhatsApp group to see who's the next in the injured line. But yeah.
Yeah. Fun stuff indeed. Right. I don't know if anyone's got anything they want to add about. Oh, I should just say quickly, you said his name, Luke, and I realized that we didn't sort of mention it. Congratulations to Antonito and Isa Marino, who have been called up to the Spanish under 18 squad to play Italy.
Marino is still. Can he play? No.
Well,
I don't know.
He had the booking, right?
Oh, yeah, he might have, yeah. But he's in the squad. And we're like, apart from Real Madrid and Barcelona and someone else, we're the only club that's got more than one representative in there, which is quite bizarre.
And Gennaro has like still 3 games to go.
Yeah.
I saw a tweet from David Picon saying that Kevin was on 4 bookings before his injury. So, not that we can do a Jose Mourinho and ask for him to get booked.
Yeah.
So that he can spend his time.
What he's saying, Alex, is Kevin isn't really injured. He's missing Ceuta, so he's available for Castellon. Jose Pellicer.
Right then. I don't know if anyone has anything else they want to add before I press the button.
Just the lives, Matt. Just the live Sunday morning.
I think
Nick and myself are definitely available. Chris, Alex, are you guys?
I'll be
I'm
there.
not sure yet. I thought it was nice to end this episode with a group song. Like if we all like sing together, like sing along.
If you guys listening are not watching us, our face is very confused right now. We haven't signed up for anything.
This isn't like a new feature for the new year. Chris is just sort of.
Isn't it fun like sing like Africa together of Toto?
Well, I don't know what you're going to do here. We can't play music.
Shall we do it?
No.
You can sing it when we go off air.
I've rapped. I've sung Waka Waka. I've talked Waka Waka AA.
Chris,
Yeah, but the rest didn't.
I thought you were going to sing your American football song again.
It's
Or your
gonna
soccer song.
take a lot to drag me away from you. There's nothing that 100 men or
Yeah,
more.
we can't do this. We can't do this.
I'm not sure
Yeah.
we're getting signed by a record label anytime soon.
Rains down in Africa.
Let's leave it to Matt. Let's leave that kind of stuff to Matt.
Oh no, I
I
didn't exactly.
bless the rains down in
Let's not quote it
Africa.
He's a banger.
Are we sure?
Yeah, I'm sure. I realized I'm quite good at song lyrics. I didn't know the long song lyrics to that. I had to double check as well. I was a bit like, oh, it says blessing the rains down on Africa. I was like, I thought it said something else. So again, I had to change that part of the intro as well. I said something else there. I need to listen better to songs.
I just went to it really quick.
Dun, 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 dun,
But
dun,
are they
dun.
blessing the rains down in Africa because it doesn't rain a lot in Africa? Or
Yeah, but I've read something about this song before, and it's got nothing to do with that. I can't remember
okay.
this. It's like a meaning, like they're Toto. They're not Radiohead. They haven't thought this through. I don't think.
Okay.
No offense, Toto, if you're listening. I've got no beef with Toto. I don't want to start that again. I once upset a man in a bar in Glasgow because I went to watch, or should I say this because I might upset people. I went to watch a Celtic game, and when I went to the bar after, I said to the guy, "I've been to watch Celtic," and there's a German guy, and he said, "I've been to watch Europe tonight," and I said, "Oh, the final countdown." Honestly, he got so aggressive with me because he said, "They're not just the final countdown. They have done this," and I said, "Oh, sorry, mate. It's just like I don't know their other stuff."
What else did they do?
Well, I don't know, but this guy really got upset with me. And I to the extent I thought he was quite a big fella as well. So I was like laughing it off, but I was quite scared. I was like, well, no, most people know the final countdown, don't they? And he was like, no, it is not just that. And I said, no, I believe you. You're a fan. But
Okay.
I said, average music.
Listen. The final countdown. Carrie. I don't know. Rock the Night. Open Your Heart. Superstitious.
You sound
6
like
to
that,
8.
Chris.
Cherokee. I'll Cry for You. Let the Good Times Rock. 7 Doors Hotel. Prisoners in Paradise. New Love in Town. Tomorrow. Danger of the Attack. Hold Your Head Up. More Than Meets the Eye. I don't know any of them. I only know it's the final countdown.
Again, apologies to any to any Toto fans. If there's any German Europe fans that are like, it's that guy from Glasgow. I apologize again. I meant no harm. And again,
I can totally see the German guy singing "It's the final countdown."
And apologies to that German accent as well.
The final countdown.
Apologies to any people in Ceuta when we've referenced it as Africa as sort of trying to make it sound novel. There's all the apologies done. So I'll finish the apologies and say,
Yeah, it's the final countdown.
I'll say thank you guys for joining me. So thank you, Luke Chambers.
Pleasure as always. I hope everyone has a good week. We'll see you on the lives. And Matt, you enjoy Ceuta. Vamos Malaga.
Ceuta. It's not that difficult, Luke. Even you can do it.
I've got it written down.
But you're making it Ceuta. What's that?
I just like the place.
Ceuta.
Right, I'm going to try and cut Chris off here. So I say thank you, Chris.
Thank you all for listening. And don't forget, it's the final countdown.
Excellent. And thank you, Alex Ashmore.
Thank you. Vamos Malaga, and see you all on the live stream Sunday.
And thank you guys, the listeners, as always. As the lads have said, go and check out the live stream. Sunday, the game's midday Spanish time and 11 a.m. UK time. So there'll be the live stream. I'll be recording a Vamos episode. So go check that out early next week. Tell your friends about us. You've been listening to the Geary Cast on Sport Direct Radio and as a part of the Sports Social Podrick Network. Vamos Malaga. Adios.